What is going on, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we continue on the saga of looking at the case study of Connor Murphy and his 40-day fast. Now, he just started eating, and boy, did he gain a lot of weight on his first week. Now, we're gonna go ahead and break it down in this video. Stay tuned. Alright guys, quickly before we start, this video is brought to you by yours truly, Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? With an ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. Only $16.50, you can click on the top right hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. And of course, as always guys, thank you for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So essentially, everything that I laid out for what will happen, the ebbs and flows, and what to expect about Connor Murphy's 40-day fast has completely panned out, literally word for word. So the first thing that I'm very happy about is that he heeded the warnings of refeeding syndrome. So maybe he watched my videos, maybe he didn't watch my videos, but whoever was helping him, or even if he was just doing the research himself, he did very competent research because he was able to eat correctly. In this video where he talks about his week of eating after fasting for 40 days, complete fast, in which, by the way, he live streamed the entire thing, all 40 days. So he was capturing those moments so you can watch to see if he was cheating or not. Based off of his body, his face, and the amount of weight that he lost, it is very safe to say that he did fast for 40 days. So taking that out of the way for any naysayers who think that he just said he was going to do it, no, this is why I'm using him as a good case study, because he actually did a live stream of the entire fast. Now, he said that he broke his fast with a watermelon, which was perfect. It's perfect because it reduces the possibility of irritating the lining in the stomach lining, because he hasn't eaten for so much. It's very easy to irritate that stomach lining when you're breaking a fast, especially after 40 days of fasting. He also kept it very, very light in terms of the food content. So he was eating mainly vegetables or like things like lentils and soups, as well as keeping it very light on the calorie portion, which he stated he ate around 1,200 calories for that entire first week, which is perfect. So if Connor Murphy is watching this video, congratulations on a perfect 40-day fast into a perfect refeed from what I see. Now, I'm not sure if in terms of minerals, in terms of vitamins, that he's supplementing himself with those vitamins, because he does need to do a replenishment of electrolytes immediately after. However, that is a recommendation that's given to us by the British National Institute of Health. But if he feels fine, if he feels good, if his blood pressure is normal, if his blood sugar is normal, then he can start to wane back in. And the 1,200 calories that he's eating is about half of what he normally eats, because he normally eats 2,500, which is what the National Institute of Health recommends. So kudos, Connor Murphy. You did everything by the book, and it could actually have saved your life. So I'm very happy that he was able to show that someone with such low body fat can do a 40-day fast, maintain his consciousness, and then also after that show that you can do a proper refeeding. Now, keep in mind, it's just a single case study. It is anecdotal to an extent, because biologically it can be anecdotal, but he did live stream it, so there is the adherence portion to it. Because when it comes to anecdotes, much of that relies on the fact that there isn't anything to prove that what the person did is exactly what they did for their results. He proved that the 40-day fast is what he did. Now let's talk about the weight gain, because boy, did he gain a lot of weight back, which is exactly what I said in my last video right before he broke his fast. He also dropped a lot of water weight. The moment he starts to eat again, his weight will go up very, very quickly. He's gonna gain 5, 6, 7 pounds very fast because of the replenishing of glycogen and because of the replenishing of water weight. Especially after you do a long fast, your body definitely tries to hold on to those things when you start refeeding. Now, the thing with being in a prolonged fast, there are some pros, but there are many cons to a prolonged fast. One big con is the massive reduction in metabolism due to adaptive thermogenesis being accelerated. Metabolic adaptation is accelerated because of the fact that you are below even low calorie diets. You are a no calorie diet. So your body has to figure out ways to be efficient with what it has. So when it has to do that, what it does is it starts to burn less calories just to keep you alive. It's a self-preservation mode. And because you're doing it for so long, for 40 days, the moment you start eating, it is going to grab onto a lot of those as a preventative reserve for in the event that this happens again. Your body, and even if not for it to happen again, your body has just gotten into a groove of being efficient with what it has. So you're kind of piling on top of that efficiency. So basically, to simplify it, your body is working at 50% capacity, and now you've given it 150%. It still only needs to work at 50%, so that extra 100%, it can go ahead and be more flexible with it in terms of storing it for glycogen stores and storing it even for body fat. Now, he lost a lot of body fat based on that metabolic switchover chart in which you burn more fat than anything else in terms of the energy that's being pulled. Protein oxidation actually goes down during fast as your body tries to spare muscle. But please keep in mind that no matter how much your body's trying to spare your muscle, it is going to take from your muscle as well because you're not replenishing anything. It's just 40 days of a reduction in burning muscle, but with no replenishment. So don't take it as, oh, your muscles are completely protected. No, your body still needs to create gluconeogenesis, where it normally breaks that down from amino acids, which can unfortunately come from muscle tissue because of the fact that your brain can only work with about 70% of ketones as a replacement for glucose. So glucose neogenesis is simply just the body creating glucose within itself without any exterior sources. And then this comes from amino acids. So yes, he did lose some muscle, but because the primary energy source was fat, he did not lose as much muscle as people thought. And that's exactly what I was saying, that he would be sparing a lot of muscle, that he would look lean with some musculature on him, regardless of the propaganda and stigmas that people have out there for fasting in and of itself. I mean, people think intermittent fasting is starving. This man was able to hold on to a good amount of muscle with 40 days of not eating. But all in all, the 14 pounds is predominantly water weight. Even glycogen storage is upregulated and accelerated because it's something that fuels muscle. It's something that helps the body. It's something that gives the body quick energy. It's something that gives the body quick energy bursts. So your body creates these glycogen stores, and glycogen contains water. So many of these glycogen stores were made in the body when he started eating, especially since he started eating fruits, which contains a lot of glucose, which help build up the glycogen stores in his body. Coupled with the fact that a massive amount of water retention was placed on the body, and if there was any salt consumption during this process, that's also going to help accelerate retaining water. But yes, believe it or not, he did also gain some body fat because now he has to get his metabolic rate back to the way it was, which it will happen. Reduction in metabolic rate, metabolic adaptation, it just simply occurs because there isn't enough energy coming in, and your body has to be smart about the energy going out. So it starts to do certain things internally to just create efficiency in terms of energy expenditure. But all in all, super proud of Connor Murphy's entire process. Super happy that he live streamed it, because I wouldn't even be doing this video had he not live streamed it. Him live streaming it gives me the comfort to use that as a case study for someone who is already a lean with athletic build, doing a prolonged fast. Usually many of the participants that do prolonged fasting are people who are overweight or obese. So this was a good case study to see how much muscle will be lost. I don't think a lot of people would ever really sign up to do a study where it's like, hey, I know I know you build some muscle over time. Do you want to do a 40-day fast where you don't eat anything, and we want to see how much muscle you keep and how much muscle you don't keep? Not a lot of people are running to sign that study waiver. But for Conor Murphy to do it gives us a good case study to look at. But I did want to make this video because I wanted to show the power of science. And basically, the blueprint of what was going to happen to him was laid out already by people from the National Institute of Health and by studies looking at the metabolic switchover and by all of those scientific literature that already showed what is more likely going to happen to somebody who goes through this type of fasting. So regardless of what all the gurus out there said about what was going to happen with Conor Murphy, none of them were actually correct. The science was able to be replicated in this case study. And of course, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here.